Hey everybody, Steve Ritter coming to you from San Diego, California. The ravishing Mrs. Ritter and I flew out here to see our son who's back from deployment, and our daughter-in-law and our little granddaughter Eva. We got to see them last night and got to play with her, and she's a delight. And gonna spend some, hopefully do a couple of videos with the boy and cook something good for you. But I just want to share with you now something from Ecclesiastes. Most people think of Proverbs when they think of Solomon and his Proverbs, and he wrote Ecclesiastes too, a lot of wisdom there. But this from Ecclesiastes 5. As you do not know the path of the wind, or how the body is formed in a mother's womb, so you cannot understand the work of God, the maker of all things. And I think about that sometimes. I think about how God has these plans and has these things in mind for us in our life. And we always want to know, don't we? Because we want to know. We want to, as we start down a road, we want to be able to look down at the end and see how it's going to end up. And rarely does God, it's been my experience, is rarely does He show you that. It's usually to the next bend in the road, and that's where faith comes in, and that's where trust comes in, that He's got you in His hand. And I see that the older I get, the more clear that is to me in my life. I think I've talked about that before, but He doesn't always reveal His plans. And I look back at a couple of events in my life that's clear. I mean, I remember I was just about to finish pilot training back in 1995. Just went through a year of the toughest year of my life, studying and performance and always under pressure and everything else. And I got to the end. I got the airplane that I wanted. I was finishing, but graduation was like the next week. And I stopped at a gas station to fill up with gas before I went home. And it was like I was driving away, and it was that still small voice in your spirit you hear. And it was like God asked me and said, what if I asked you right now to give it all up, to give up being a pilot and quit what you're doing and doing something else? Would you do it? And I had it all planned out. I mean, what my career was going to be like as a pilot, what I was going to do. I had it all figured out and thought. And the idea of throwing that all away for what? For I don't know what. That was that trust thing that we talked about before. And I had a moment, a slight moment of panic. Like, what if He asked me to do something? and I thought for a minute. I searched my heart, and I answered. I said, yeah, I would, Lord, and whatever You ask me to do, I'll do. And I felt this overwhelming peace come over me, and it was like He said, I just wanted to check. You keep doing what you're doing. I just wanted to see where your heart was, and it was so moving to me at that moment, and I think about that. And I would, if He asked me, I would. I really do believe that, and that was kind of the first step. And a couple of times where I've had come to points in my life where, Lord, what would You have me do? And there's another time when I was a little bit farther down the road in my career, and we were in Altus, Oklahoma, and was stationed there, and I was finishing up a position as a flight commander, done real well, and was on my way, and I wanted to go, the next job I'd talk with my commander. I wanted to go into standardization and evaluations. I wanted to be a check pilot up at the wing, and which was you're setting a standard for the wing, and I really wanted to do that, because in my mind I wanted to do that, and then I was kind of looking at maybe going to the airlines, and because I at that point I was like, I think I want to get out and go fly for the airlines. And so I had it all planned out, had it all figured out, and my commander even sent me on a trip with another guy to kind of groom me for that and all, and so we went through Christmas, came back after Christmas, and my commander called me in and said, hey, I want to talk with you about your next job. And I was like, okay, here we go. I'm off to Stanaval. And he said, I want to send you up to Current Ops, which is like the scheduler for the wing. They build the schedule. They get all the other aircraft and everything else. So it was completely unexpected. No idea that was coming, and I was like kind of floored. And I'm like, okay. I mean, that kind of isn't what I was looking for. He goes, well, they really have a need for a dynamic leader to step in and fix some things. And I'm like, oh, well, okay, I'll go where you need me to go. I was a little disappointed. I came home and talked with my wife about it. And anyway, I stepped in. I'm like, look, I'm going to do everything is unto the Lord, so I'm going to step in and do the best I can. It ended up being the best job I could have had. That really was a springboard for me to move into other higher positions. I was a wing executive officer, and it got me. It helped get me school. I went off to school and got a master's degree and all of that from that moment, which, again, God showed me to the corner, like, hey, I was going to get into this job that I had no idea I was going to get into, but then once I came around the corner and then He showed me the next bit and what it could be. I mean, it was amazing. I never could have imagined, and that's the trust in the Lord and trusting in Him and the more times you do it, the more you see that He's a faithful God. He is. And but I also, looking at the next verse in Ecclesiastes 11:6, sow not your seed in the morning, and at evening let not your hands be idle, for you do not know which will succeed, whether this or that, or whether both will do equally well. So if you don't know, God gives us wisdom. I've got an airport right nearby me here. That's music to my ears as a pilot, even though that's a helicopter. You keep working. God gives us wisdom. Do what seems wise. Do what seems right. Keep working, and God opens up opportunities and everything else. But I don't think we're to sit on our hands until God opens a door for us. I think we're to work and to move forward and to try and you keep going, and opportunities seem to happen. What's the expression? The harder I work, the luckier I seem to be. I think it's a little bit of that truth. I think God has us work and move forward wisely, and opportunities come forward that He puts on our path. Anyway. I just want to share a little bit of that. I read that verse the other day and thought about that in my life and experiences in my life, and I hope these are a blessing to you. And greetings again from San Diego. Got here yesterday, so I'm from the South Carolina, and flying out here to California. I'm kind of like, ooh, you hear so much about California and how things are. Nothing's on fire that I can see. Everything looks good. This is a beautiful state. San Diego, you people got it good here. So hello to all my California peeps. So anyway, I hope this is a blessing to you. Hope you have a blessed Sunday. And Steve Ritter signing off. Bye now.